Right, are we flashing? Yeah. Well, what we've been trying to do the last few days is trying to get some organisation into the workshop here. I've now started to get a bit of space on my bench. It was just tied up with two machines that I couldn't use. My surface plate, and I just couldn't do anything with the area. So hopefully in the next short while we will have extra, when I've cleared all this off, we will have extra bench space for doing jobs, and my CNC machine here will be fully operational. It does have a small router bit, so when I first had it I was machining aluminium and whatever. It will do that. It was my first venture into CNC, and I then became aware that there were better motors, so I have got here waiting to be fitted. I'll pull it out later, a 12,000 RPM motor, opposed to this one which was some other RPM, but I just can't remember what it was. So I also have been playing with this machine a lot. It hasn't been used for a while, and hot glue obviously isn't as good as it's supposed to be, but what I did was I converted it to laser operation, and it did work. That's just a bit of balsa, but it actually cut it through. So I will be able to finish getting that set up. I modified the box so you could switch it to use the spindle or the laser. I've got the switch which says auto, and since I did the conversion I've got no idea what it does, but I want to get all that set up, and there's room for it to work. It can work there quite happily. It's not going to foul anything, so that will be working. And I have got my 3D printer working again. Well, I've moved it slightly from where it was. There's the control box up there, and I'm just waiting for some longer 40-way and 30-way ribbons, because that's the only drawback with that. It has these ribbons to connect it to the controller on the 3D printer, and normally you have to have that alongside it. Well, I don't. I want it up there out of the way, thereby giving me more bench space. That will be able to run and operate. I can get at it to do whatever I need to do. Yeah, that's nice. I put a magnetic rail along there to stick some of my bits and pieces on, and I can be able to get rid of all this stuff. There's a couple of Sony radios I was working on. The amplifier chip had got on them. You can't buy the amplifier chip, so I did actually make one up, and I got one working for a while, and then it packed up. But it's on the frequency side, not on the audio side, and whether to throw them in the bin or have another play with them, I don't know. But they've got an ultra complex tuning mechanism here that, and you can't get any further into it. You can't get stuff off. It's a nightmare to work on. So I think they might just finish up in the bin. But by using this head cam, you can actually see what sort of mess I'm in. We've got our quadcopters up there. We've got the engines we were working on and making up there. I've got our cameras, I've got power supplies, hot air guns. The hot air gun has taken a turn for the worst on that. Whether I'll repair it again, I don't know, because I had it in my van for years. But I've got a sucker gun attached to it, which seems to work, so I'll keep that there. I've got 2 soldering irons, I've got my frequency generator, I've got a power supply up there as well, and I've got my oscilloscope under there, and my multimeters, and at the moment I can't even get to them. So as you can see, I've got my work cut out for the next week or two, messing about, trying to get everything back into some sensible semblance of order. The lathe is up and running, and that's all right. My milling machine, I used the other to make that tap handle. There's the tap handle we made. That's my first thing I've made in a long time. So hopefully we can get ourselves back into gear and start mucking about in the shed. So there we go. So I think that'll do for now. I've bored everybody enough. I'd like to get one of those quadcopters out and playing with again. But there we go. So that's all for now. So keep watching and liking and subscribing. Comment, rude or otherwise, gratefully accepted. Isn't that a dinky little one there? That's a cracker, and it's got a camera on it as well. Fantastic. Yes, there we go. And this is the on-off button.